I think there is kind of a disconnect between single people and then families living in Tokyo.
Sometimes a bit difficult if you have a smaller kid. I wouldn't really like my son to live.
So today we are spending a day in Roppongi. I honestly don't know that much about Roppongi, so this is gonna be new for me, but luckily I have someone from Instagram coming over and she's gonna show me around. We're gonna talk about her life in Japan and kind of see, you know, what Roppongi is all about. So let's get it. Hi, nice to meet you. So tell me about how you made the move to Japan.
I actually moved to Japan because of my husband's job. But when he was offered this position in Japan, I was working and I had a very busy life. I was very busy at my work. And I had a son who was at that time about 5 years old. Because I was working so much, I never could really spend so much time with him. I thought this opportunity would give me really good time to connect with my son. But also, we wanted to move somewhere. And then we thought, Tokyo is a great place to move, right? So it's like, where else can we go for a better place? And also, it was a good time for us to move because like my son was still small enough to like if he was in maybe like middle school or high school, it would probably have been a more difficult decision. But when we moved here last year, he started kindergarten, and then this year he started with the first grade. So it's a great timing for us and for him too. So we thought it would be a great opportunity for him to explore a new culture and for us as well. I mean, Tokyo is a great place to live.
Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. So you've been doing content since November then? Okay.
Yeah.
And did you ever like do any video stuff before that, or was that kind of like your introduction? Don't know why you're always on my mind like every other time. Feeling the money, girl, it's you in my club. I'm drowning in the ocean of your love. You're the first person I've talked to who has moved to Japan with a family.
All right.
I guess too, I've been talking to people who are a little younger, or the time in their life where they need that change is before they start a family per se.
Yeah.
Would you say that coming with your family was more beneficial? Do you think coming alone at an earlier period in life would have been different in a way?
What was really advantageous for us is that coming here as an expat through my husband's company, because like we had a relocation agent that was helping us when we were supposed to go to register for the city office, for example. Or like they already helped us finding flats. Because I heard before moving here, I don't know how much it is true, but I heard that people might be a bit hesitant in hiring their, renting their apartments to foreigners. But if the landlord or landlady knows that there's a company paying for that rent, they are much more open. So I think coming via an expat contract and via work definitely helped us. I think though, if I moved to Tokyo when I was younger, I would have definitely enjoyed the Tokyo life more, because right now I have a kid. And even though people say that Japan is a very kid-friendly place, I tend to disagree, especially about Tokyo, because like there are really very nice restaurants that you can't go with kids. Or like you want to go to a place, but there's a huge line and you can't wait with your kids there, right? So, and so that kind of things, like the social life is a little bit difficult. And to be honest, we we don't have a full-time nanny that is living with us. So that's also a different story, right? So we always need to go places with our kids. And Tokyo is a little bit difficult for that. I've been to an izakaya just once because it's smoking in there, right? So I can't go there. Things like this. So if I was younger and more careless, let's say, it would have been much more fun. I would go out every night, every show I could find, to every entertainment place and so on and so forth. I think that would have been different then.
Oh no, I totally agree, because I think there is kind of a disconnect between, you know, single people and then families living in Tokyo as well, because so many things are built for the single person.
Yes.
You know, I mean, just look at pretty much every single apartment too. They're all so small because they're to accommodate one person, maybe two, right?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, because like we have a really nice apartment which was actually brand new, and it's very close to my son's school. So that was actually the reason why we wanted to rent that apartment, because the proximity to the school. It has 3 bedrooms and a living room. The largest bedroom is obviously the for parents. The second bedroom has this balcony where you can open it. I wouldn't really like my son to live sleep there, because we were a bit afraid that, you know, he can open the window and you never know, right? And then the other bedroom, the third bedroom, which is the smallest bedroom, you can't even fit in a bed there. So we had to order a separate bed, a smaller bed for him. So that, and he sleeps there, it's just one bed and just a very small table for him. I mean, he doesn't really spend much time, but exactly like the apartment is not really, even though it is 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, I think it's not really thought for kids.
I agree. So I wanted to talk about Roppongi.
All right.
Roppongi really isn't like a place I'm as familiar with, just because when I lived here, I was on the west side. So Shibuya, Shinjuku, that area, that's like my neighborhood. So I wanted to get kind of, you know, your opinions of Roppongi, how you like it as a place, and how it is for expats too, because it definitely is more of an expat location than per se like Shinjuku.
Yeah, so I always think Roppongi has different faces. So there is the nightlife face of Roppongi, which is like around the Roppongi station, and then this area where like there are the clubs, bars, and karaoke places, and really nice restaurants. And that is really fun to come on a Friday evening or Friday night, Saturday night, or even like during the weekdays. You can come here and have an open place and, I don't know, a bar to go in and so on and so forth. And then there are the other I would say the faces of Roppongi, which are maybe a little bit more high-end or more like shopping vibe, but with like brand shopping. So that would be more like the Roppongi Hills and Roppongi Midtown. And there you will be seeing a lot of expats who live there as well. And also a lot of tourists who are visiting there. So like I know that in Roppongi Hills, for example, there are complexes which are actually built only for expats. So, and that there is a little bit more calmer. And Roppongi is actually, as an area, it's also very close to other, I call them expat-friendly neighborhoods like Minami Azabu or Azabu Juban or like Hiro. So you may live in the other places which are actually neighboring to Roppongi, and then still come to Roppongi to enjoy, and then have good food and great food here as well. And then there's a lot of embassies as well around here, and like some of the embassies have their dormitories around this area as well. So. And not only for like food and restaurants, but there's also a lot of cultural and sports activities that you can do. Like there are all these golf, little golf rooms. I'm not really a golf player, but also like there are some sports clubs that you can be a member of, or for example, there is a compounds where you can come for example, my son comes for a tennis class and so on.
How is Roppongi as a place to, live as an expat and be with your family?
Yeah. So Roppongi is sometimes a bit difficult if you have a smaller kid. There are a lot of places which are a little bit hilly. So like if you're living in a small street at the back of the main roads, you might need definitely an e-bike especially if you're carrying your kids, you will definitely need an e-bike because it's not that easy to go up the hill.
Right.
And also, like if you're on the main streets where there's like a lot of bars and so on, it might be a little bit too loud if you have smaller kids. So I would not recommend to go out really late at night around this area if you have smaller kids because it's just too loud and too much lights and too much colors. Might be a bit too much for the kids as well. But on the other hand, there are, for example, behind Roppongi Hills, there's really a beautiful park that you can bring your kids. It's there's cinemas that show English movies if you want to go to English movies in Roppongi Hills. There are really nice small cafes that you can, like child-friendly cafes as well. So just explore. Also, Roppongi is not only this place where you have only the bars, but you can just explore the other behind the main streets.
Yeah, because I was wondering, since I think the stereotype of Roppongi is like very foreigner inundated, but also very like club heavy.
Yes.
And so they're always like, oh, if you're a foreigner and you want to go to the club, you gotta go to Roppongi.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think there is so much more to offer.
Yeah. And it's very close to other expat-friendly places like Azabujuban, Minami Azabu, Hiro. So, for example, there's really a nice park. If you want to have a little bit of a green, I would definitely recommend people to go to the Arisugawa Park, which is not that far from here. It's close. It's between Hiro and Minami Azabu, which is very close here. And just maybe one station after Roppongi might be also a good place to go, and you can easily walk there.
Right. Perfect. Thank you. Hey friends, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like this type of content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm also trying to post extra clips on Patreon, so if you're interested in something like this, do you feel like Tokyo could be your forever place? Or like this? How would you weigh Roppongi as number one, a place to stay for a tourist, and number two, a place to live as an expat? Make sure to check it out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.